right, so are we recording? Did you play my intro for me? I've got news. Podcast Detroit is on SoundCloud. Make sure to listen to Stir in the Pot. I'm your host, the Green Queen. Catch me live Wednesdays every hump day at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hold on to your pants. You're in for a ride.
This is four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty. Make America greater. Free the plant, free the people.
Oops. All right, so this is a special edition of Stir in the Pot for the people, by the people. I am the Green Queen, your host. I've got my intern, Robbie, in the studio with me, and our producer. What's your name?
My name's Randy.
Randy rocks.
My name's Randy.
Randy rocks. He's a secret superhero. So I also have lots of special guests that are going to be calling in, but we're going to start with a very special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, how's it going? My name is Timothy Edwards, also known as the hip-hop artist Timmy.
And can you tell us a little bit about yourself? What do you do? What do you stand for? And what are you organizing right now?
Okay, so a little backstory about myself and who I am. I was born with a physical disability. I was born with my arms backwards and my intestines out of my stomach. I wasn't expected to live, but by the grace of God, I overcame those obstacles. I have a college degree. I formerly owned True Entertainment, but now I'm changing that company to One Eternity. And I'm also the founder of the Cannabis Saves Lives Tour. And I'm a hip-hop artist, cannabis activist, and life motivation public speaker. And I used to do radio. So I'm from Seattle, Washington, and we've been doing this tour for 2 years now. So this is our second year that we're going to hit the road. Last year we did Seattle Hemp Fest, Oregon Hemp Fest, and some shows in between. Excuse me. And this year we're planning on going all the way down to Arizona, Nevada, California. We're going to be at Boise Hemp Fest, which for those of you might know around the country, Boise or Idaho itself is not legal in any way when it comes to cannabis. So it's definitely a state where it's a hot zone stepping into. But really it's just about changing the public opinion about cannabis, showing how cannabis helps people. And I'm kind of a living testament for it. So as an artist and an entertainer and as the owner of the company and the tour, I go out and do it. I'm also working with my friend, Kat Bonsack from Mary Jane Parties, and also working with Tim McManus from Mad Hatter Organics. And this is my team, and we're working together to bring this tour to you guys. And hopefully we're going to be coming out to Michigan and all across the country in the next in the next year or so. That's the goal.
Awesome. So let's see. So how do you feel about, this is a great time to introduce Wendy Loveedge. If you've listened to any of my podcasts before, you would know who Wendy is. But if you don't, Wendy, could you please introduce yourself, Miss Love?
Hello, I'm Wendy Loveedge, and I'm the founder of Bulldozer Health Incorporated, a nonprofit healthcare reform initiative, and the author of 16, My Journey into Wellness. Thanks for having me back, Katie.
Oh, man, I am, as always, so excited to have you. Wendy is somebody that I've looked up to for a while now, and we have so many of the similar dreams, and together we can and we will. We have decided to join this little girl that was 12 years old. And she was so inspiring to me. Somebody who I hope is going to be calling in very soon, her name is Heather Starr, had this wonderful idea, and we're going to go with it. We have decided to ask everybody in America to donate $1. $1. That's all we're asking, $1. And we are going to unite America in this huge force to Sue Sessions. We, the people, say No. The Pot Brothers at Law in California, good old California, the rebel state, they have filed an official motion in court. Follow them on Instagram. Definitely, they have awesome tips to protect your constitutional rights. But they're freedom fighters. Also, Sexy Lady Justice on Instagram, Sarah Swain. She is awesome. She's another freedom fighter that has our backs, and we have decided to just go on the road and make America greater. And we want to bring everyone together to do that. And part of that is making a statement that we will not stand for Sessions' rescindance of Obama's policy, basically to protect. Did I say it right, Wendy?
Yeah, I mean, we're protected currently. Well, I guess as of yesterday, Attorney General Sessions has already rescinded the federal protections for states that have legal cannabis and legal patients, and that makes all of us susceptible to being arrested and put in jail for using our medicine. It's insanity, really.
Yes.
Because the people already spoke in the individual states, and I don't know what the statistic is exactly currently, but most people, even if they're not a cannabis user or a cannabis patient, they still feel that we should have the freedom to have access to our medicine. Most people, there's very few that don't feel that way. I don't know what you or your guest feels about that, but I think our view may be a little skewed because we know so many people who are pro-cannabis, but out there in the world, Katie, a few weeks ago I was in that classroom of college students, and there was only one student in the room of 50 students who said they weren't for cannabis legalization.
Yes,
So,
yes. But
right
I was
there,
so glad that you found that one student, because I wanted some kind of young mind that really had some kind of statement that they, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to be able to battle it with logic and give them the real facts, because that's what we need. That's what we need. Education is so important. So important.
It really is. And so I know, Timmy, it sounds like you have a tour already going. That's fantastic.
Well, the Cannabis
Yeah,
Saves
thank
Lives
you.
tour, absolutely. And this year, I think they're just going bigger and better. So I'm sure we're going to be able to definitely cross paths with them at some point.
We have another caller.
Oh, another caller. Awesome. I think this is Heather Starr. Is this Heather Starr?
It is. Hello.
Heather Starr. She's kind of the star of the show today.
Oops, hold on. Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. It's okay. We roll with the flow.
Can't seem to merge these calls. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We will work with it.
I think it just happened.
Is everybody on the line? Who's here?
Something happened. Wendy's here.
I'm here. You got Timmy.
Heather.
Did I mess it up?
Oh, did we hang up on Heather? You hung up on our star.
Oh, no.
No, Randy rocks. He'll get her
Sorry.
back. He'll get her back. Okay, so Heather's calling in.
Is your Cannabis Rocks tour, is it a music tour that goes around the country?
The Cannabis Saves Lives tour is entertainment mixed with education. So at this point, we're open to doing any type of event. Like, I'm a hip hop performer. I can play the bass and the keys with my feet. I've done entertainment my whole life. And so I bring the entertainment, and I have people on board that know, a lot more cannabis knowledge than I do. I'm fairly informed when it comes to cannabis, but definitely I'm bringing in people that are the experts when it comes to the laws, to all, stuff like that. We like to set up seminars, classes. I mean, I was just the other day, I was talking to an off-duty detective that was telling me that they can't wait for cannabis to be legalized. And it was cool to hear somebody from the law enforcement,
that's refreshing, huh?
have that opinion.
That would be awesome.
And, so really, I'm not afraid to go to, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to tell, so part of our nonprofit, we have a project called Take Back Your Health America benefit concerts, and So we've been doing something similar. We've kind of taken a hiatus from it, but it would be great to kind of connect the two possibly with what you're, with what you're doing and the tour that we were embarking on. We had performers in 4 states and speakers and vendors, that kind of thing. Education, like you said, education mixed with, entertainment. It's perfect.
I think Heather Starr's back on. Heather?
I am.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
So this is Heather Starr, everybody. Heather is a fighter, a survivor, one of the bravest women that I know, but I kind of know a lot of superheroes. But she's awesome. She's definitely super brave. And today I really want to share her story as much as she's willing to share it. We've set up a GoFundMe account for Heather, and Heather is fighting cancer right now, and she is battling it in every way she knows how, and she's going to win. So, Heather, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Hello, my name is Heather, and I'm from Massachusetts. I've lived out here my whole life, and I'm an artist and a pet sitter, among other things. And recently diagnosed with cancer. After being told I was like, fine, I'm totally fine, and then all of a sudden cancer. Yeah, it's a long story, but yeah. So, unfortunately, my father-in-law passed away not even sure. So we pretty much did like every kind of research, every kind of video, everything that we could do to help him. So I'm familiar with what to do once you get cancer. So I'm just waiting for like appointments. I'm not sure like how even bad it is yet because they haven't given me any more appointments yet. But I'm just kind of taking things in my own hands until I can hear from different medical folks, and then obviously we'll try.
Who's driving with their seatbelt off? Is somebody driving
What's
with
that?
their seatbelt off? Are you driving with your seatbelt off, ma'am?
I am. I just like got in the car, and I shouldn't do that because I actually just crashed my car yesterday.
Heather.
We had a snow bomb here, and So
Heather, listen, you're the
Put your
star.
seatbelt on.
Put that
I
seatbelt
am right
on.
now.
Seatbelt save lives,
Well,
Heather.
I got it. Done.
Okay, so we want you safe and secure. Once you're safe and secure, please proceed with your story. I'm sorry that beeping was distracting us because we're definitely picking
I'm
up.
sorry. Yeah.
It's okay. It's perfectly fine. I just want you to be safe. I knew that's what the beeping was. We were looking at each other like, what could the beeping be? And it just clicked in my mind and it just came out. So sorry. So you're battling this holistically right now, correct? You're trying to, and is that your goal?
It would be nice. I really don't want to get, cut open like a fish or radiated or, poisoned. You know what I mean?
I feel like we're forced to do that, and it's so
well, yeah.
Because I have a story that really connects with you, and I hope that you're comfortable with me sharing it. Would you be?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, so I met Heather through Bulldozer, and one thing that really, I feel like I can connect with so many people, but one thing that really touched me about Heather was that she formerly had breast implants, and she had trouble with those implants. She got them removed, and she now is diagnosed with cancer. I have breast implants. They've ruptured. My insurance won't pay to take them out. I've been fighting with the insurance companies for years. And they've basically sent me home to die. I also have cancer. I believe I have anaplastic large cell lymphoma. I also have systemic amyloidosis. But I'm affected by more than one medical device because I have mesh in my abdomen, and I also received a gastric bypass when I was 17 at 370 pounds. So I know that no foreign object should never go in your body now, but I guess I didn't then, And according to my doctors, they didn't think that it would eventually, I would eventually wind up with cancer. What's so sad about Heather's situation is she removed the implants and they said she was fine, but now, years down the road, she's been sick for so many years, and now they just finally diagnosed her with not one cancer, but 2 cancers. And I believe that Heather and I were kind of brought together for a greater purpose. And, you know, you meet so many people and you hear so many stories, but I know that, you know, when you're on Facebook and you start to get sick and someone links you to a group and you see over 25,000 women that are just like you being sent home to die by something that's not even recognized by the medical community, you have to help them. And together today with Heather, that's something that I would definitely like to do for everybody that has breast implants or any kind of foreign medical device implanted in their body. You know, if you're experiencing symptoms, you know, you need to go to your doctor, and if you're experiencing symptoms, you need to contact your state representatives to change the Medical Device and Safety Act, because as it is now, it's very hard for women to get help, to get lawsuits. The FDA is basically feeding false information to us and telling us that these medical devices are safe for implantation, and they're not. The fact is they're not. They're not safe. So
I think women in general take sort of a back burner, you know. The patriarchy is still strong, and so when women start to speak up and, you know, well, these breast implants are killing me, well, you know, of course, nobody wants to hear that. And there's just not the same kind of funding for women's issues. Women's programs are cut all the time, and our voices just aren't heard the way they should be. So thank you so much, Katie, for putting this out there. And it's important information for everyone to have, every woman to know that what you're being told at the doctor's office may not be the whole truth.
absolutely.
They just don't even put money into research either for women's issues, you know.
Well, I mean, it's there's so many, I mean, women out there and just people in general, you know, we're still trusting our doctors. And as Heather said, why would I want them to poison me? The average survival rate after 5 years of all cancers when you start chemo is 2%. It's 2%, but we still trust our doctors. I'm sorry, I'm not going to comply. I'm not going to follow the masses. I'm not going to be that 2%. I'm going to be the 2% that survives. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
yeah,
I know
I'm
what
gonna
you
be.
mean.
I'm gonna be the
So,
2%
I mean,
that
through the
survives.
years,
I'm not gonna be. No, we just can't. We can't. We have to stand up and say no. You know.
And through the years, like, as I was saying, unfortunately, my father-in-law just died of cancer not even a year ago. So we were looking at all these programs, the Truth About Cancer, different treatments, and you know, there's a lot of things with that GCMAF. There's tons and tons and tons of things out there, but, you know, you can't have them because it's not the appropriated treatment in the United States, or you can't, you know, whatever. Like, if someone's dying of cancer, let them eat all the apricot seeds they want, if they want.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just, and as far as, like, the cannabis thing, too, if you go on and you just Google the government patent for cannabis, you'll find out that they've known since like the 70s that it treats certain conditions and certain, you know, diseases, but that's not even enough to make the government be like, yeah, we have patent on it, but Jeff Sessions doesn't seem to know that somehow. You know, just it's
Absolutely.
just insane, ridiculous bullshit. Oh, sorry.
No, you're
It's
fine.
just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So,
It is ridiculous,
you know,
but so look, we have to be the warrior women. We're the warrior women. They're going to
Absolutely.
move this forward.
2018, the year of the woman. 12-year-old little
Woo!
girl. The 12-year-old little girl started the movement. In November, she filed against Sessions and the DEA. And on January 5th, the Pot Brothers at Law filed a motion for the people, by the people. No, against Sessions. They did. And they stand behind us all. And so do many other prominent attorneys and people in power and senators and governors. We just have to start the movement. We have to be the voice. That's what we're doing today. That's what we did with our campaign for Take Back Your Health America and Make America Greater. And once again, we're at Heather. This was Heather's idea. And once again, we're going to have to make sure everyone knows where to get to Heather's GoFundMe account, because we started a GoFundMe to get Heather the care that she needs holistically that her insurance doesn't cover. And we want you all to give to that as much as you can. And everybody, we're asking you to donate $1 to make America greater and share it. Share it with everybody. If everybody in America donated $1, we could put it towards some really awesome things. And we're going to take back our health, America. We're going to make America greater.
Right.
We're going to sue Jeff Sessions.
Well, that's
Absolutely.
the thing. That's what I thought of.
We're going to end the prohibition of cannabis in the United States, you guys. That's what we're going to do. Just FYI.
Yeah.
That's what that
And
$1 is
that's
really
like-
for. I mean, it's to sue Jeff Sessions, but ultimately it's going to end cannabis prohibition. This is the fuel to the fire that we needed. Jeff Sessions, when you play with fire, you're going to get burned. He just opened up a whole can of worms, didn't he? Didn't he?
Definitely did. And everybody should know we had our first donor. We had our first donor for this campaign. They donated $25. It's an activist from Connecticut named Nicole Vine. And
Way to go, Nicole.
we're not even asking people to donate $25. We're asking $1. Go to bulldozerhealth.org, hit the donate button, donate $1. Make sure you mark it Sue Jeff Sessions or Sue Sessions, whatever you want to say. And thank you, Nicole, for getting it started.
Yes, thank you, Nicole. You rock.
Right, and just thank you so much for doing that. And just, as far as other problems, the reason why I just thought of it was because, it's like if people, got together, like me, you, us three, we don't have tons of power, but like all the people that were dissatisfied with whatever, like people that are dissatisfied with the medical or whatever standing in this country, if everyone just gave $1, that's millions of people to hire the best lawyer who can really get things done and kick some ass. It wouldn't cost us very much money at all, because that's the game that they want to play, money in politics and this and that. Okay, well, we can play too. And, that's a lot of people with a lot of dollars. So,
yes, exactly.
$1.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I can speak for the people out here in Washington to say that, like, our governor already made the statement that he's not going to go backwards on cannabis law. I mean, things aren't
Good for
perfect in
him.
Washington
Yay.
State. Things aren't perfect out here. I mean, when we went recreational, it killed medical marijuana. And, like, California just went recreational, and that's killing medical marijuana. And it's going to be a shift that's going to be
Did someone say they have to
heartbreaking for a
go?
lot of people. And it's going to be filling the pockets for a lot of other people. But I personally, I don't get all hyped up about what the media says. I feel that the media does a lot of scare tactics. Like most states that are already moving forward in some form of legalization, we're not moving backwards. So Sessions
Hello.
says,
Oh, 1 second. Sorry,
like
someone's calling in. Is this Timothy Locke?
This is. Sorry, I had company.
It's okay. Hold on 1 second, Timothy. Go ahead and finish your thought. I'm sorry. Oops.
No, so I was just saying, we're not going to go backwards. It's just the thing with I've noticed in politics is a lot of scare tactics. Sessions is threatening to take all these laws back to make us all scared, but it's not. We're not moving backwards, and there's enough percentage of people in this country to say that cannabis is. Huh?
I said, no, we're moving forward. I feel like this is just what the American people needed to take back the power. I mean, absolutely.
And so, over here in Washington, we used to do something called the Faces of Medical Marijuana, and we encourage people to take videos of themselves and tell your personal medical reason of why you use cannabis and then post it on the internet. And then the goal was to get as many videos together as we could
Well,
to show that. You get a million videos together, that's, millions of people saying cannabis has helped me.
right.
How can you deny the millions of faces,
Well, we kind of
millions
started
of voices?
a campaign here the day that they were trying to, the day that they hosted a meeting to try to shut down all of our dispensaries. We started a campaign called Be Brave for Cannabis and Be Brave. And that's a national campaign that we're hoping everyone will take part in. So if you continue to do that, I would love if you would hashtag Be Brave and Better Together, because we want everyone to know, and Sue Sessions, we want everyone to know what we're doing and everyone to become a part of it, because we all need to come together and unite all of these different organizations and companies and everybody that is for ending the prohibition of cannabis, freeing the plant, freeing the people, and making America greater. So let me just introduce our next guest, which is Timothy Locke. He's from Abrogate, Michigan. And here in Michigan, we have petitioned to amend the Constitution and make cannabis lawful. And Timothy heads that. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Timothy.
Well, hello, everybody. Thanks for letting me come on in and flap my lips here a little bit about what we're trying to push here and get done in the state of Michigan and hopefully, bring to the rest of the country. As Katie mentioned, I'm helping to push this concept we're calling Abrogate Prohibition Michigan. The concept is to change the state amendment to amend the state constitution to actually make cannabis lawful, not just legal. So it can have all use. People can have the right to grow and treat themselves, bring product and business to market, not just in the recreational market, not just in the medical market, but in the industrial and agricultural markets across the board.
Absolutely. So what candidates right now that are running for governor support Abrogate?
I have seen two different candidates mention it. One of them I know come out in support of the concept of totally ending the war on cannabis and hopefully later the drug war here. Bill Chilonu, who is a libertarian candidate from Grand Rapids area, has come out in full support of ending prohibition completely, as well as the other petition campaign out there. To make changes to this cannabis issue. There is another one. His name is escaping me right now, and my internet is down, so I can't look him up. Hopefully it comes to me in a few moments. And then there's a couple people running for U.S. Senate, some people running for state Senate, state seats that are showing interest and being supportive and talking out about this idea of abrogating the prohibition here in the state of Michigan. So we are getting some pretty good political support, but obviously we'd like more.
So how long has Bill Schuette been, what's Bill Schuette's current position? Isn't it can you tell
Attorney
me?
General.
Attorney General, and where? Where is he, the Attorney General?
Here in Michigan. He's the Attorney General of the state of Michigan.
Okay. So how long has he been the Attorney General in the state of Michigan?
He was elected in the election in 2010. I believe he took office, I believe it's January 20th there in 2011. So roughly 6 years now. And he is gearing up for a run for governor of Michigan in 2018.
Did he win? I think he lost that already.
I hope so.
There's been somebody that's really caught my eye for governor. His name is Abdul. Have you checked him out?
I have seen some of his page releases, his Facebook posts. Looked a little bit at his campaign page. Haven't followed up a lot with any of these particular people. Reached out a little bit and had conversations here and there in general. But with everything else going on, I haven't had a chance to reach out and see how many people are actually out there on the political spectrum yet. One thing I will say is I believe that anybody out there who is running for a office in the state, at their local level, who is pro-cannabis is probably going to find widespread support, more so than they believe, maybe not vocally in public, but at the voters box, I believe they'll see that support.
Oh, I think publicly now it's on with the Sessions move. I mean, people are just enraged.
It's going to open it up.
Enraged.
It's going to open up the conversation big time. And it pretty much projected prohibition itself again
That's
right
what
back
I'm
to the forefront of the people's minds in the country.
Oh, I think he totally just gave us the fuel for the fire we needed. Everyone
I
is
believe, right.
pissed. The Pot Brothers at Law, like I was saying before you came on, in California, have like officially filed in court. And there's been there's been other attorneys. I don't know what attorney filed, or if that little girl filed for herself. That the news story was on in November, that was suing Sessions and suing the DEA. But I'm so happy that they filed, and they're behind us, and they're behind everybody. So, and so many more attorneys and people, that have positions of power, that are in our Senate, that are in our government in general. We just have to kind of lead the way. And I totally believe abrogate's one of the ways we could do that. But I want to see nationally something happen to make cannabis lawful federally. Personally, in my heart of hearts, so, oh gosh.
Right, and there are actually 2 bills being presented and getting some support. One of them is the Cory Booker bill from, Senator from New Jersey, which, as a la Bernie Sanders call, it totally would end federal prohibition on cannabis and remove cannabis from the Federal Controlled Substances Act entirely. There is also an accompaniment bill going through Representative House, pushing the same measure, because it's got to go through both houses too. So there are federal pushes to actually remove cannabis from the Controlled Substances Act, and why we may not support all the politics of those people pushing this, I think everybody should be of the mindset ending prohibition at the state and federal level is the only smart thing to do.
Yes.
I absolutely agree. That's really what needs to happen. I mean, patients should be able to, I currently just left Massachusetts. I won't go into that situation, but I'm in Arkansas right now. And they did pass medical here, but, there's no grow rights, which grow rights are human rights, and it's so, it's better that there's something, of course, but, the poor really still can't access, our organization, Bulldozer Health, we help people to do that, but, it's a grander scale than even we can handle. There's just, legalization is not the answer. I mean, I love and hate what's happened to cannabis, as I'm sure you might feel the same way.
Sure.
We really just need to end prohibition.
Well, my question there, there's
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, just the freedom, it's not medical freedom the way it's being handled currently.
Yes.
So I would agree with that.
Improvement, perhaps, but not really medical freedom, which we all need in all ways.
Absolutely.
One thing I'd like to try to challenge. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, at the same time, you have Sessions saying he's going to end all this, but Florida, just went legal, and Oklahoma's in the process of, voting on whether they're going to legalize in some form. So, it's just continuous. Cannabis saves lives, and we're moving forward. Be brave, like those 3 statements.
Absolutely.
Can we swear? Can we swear? Can we say F? Sessions, are we allowed to swear on this podcast?
Well, we try to avoid the F word as much as possible, but
I was
we
making
are
a joke.
saying
I know. I was
we
making
are,
a joke.
I have said it before. It has escaped my lips. Like the Pot Brothers at Law have this script. It's a 25-word script. It's STFU. Shut the F up. So here, I'll share it with you right now. And then, so it goes, if you get pulled over, why did you pull me over? I am not discussing my day. Am I free or am I detained or am I free to go? If detained, I invoke the 5th and shut the F up. But it's to protect your constitutional rights from, legal search and seizure. And everybody should use it every time they're pulled over to end the BS illegal search and seizures by the police. Remember the script. Absolutely. And we also like to use FTP. Free the plant, free the people. That's what that stands for. So
well, that stands for something too, but
well, you know what?
Acronyms are fun.
I think that if we can end prohibition, what would that do? Like, in my eyes, it would really kind of restore a little bit of the faith and the trust that I have in our law enforcement, which I believe their job should be to serve and protect our communities and our citizens. According to the Supreme Court, their job is to enforce the law. So if we end the prohibition of cannabis by abrogating in Michigan, I wish we could abrogate in every state. Recently, I learned it's only we're only able to do it in 26 states by petition, which is kind of sad, but it's the reality, and that's why we need the federal government to step in and Trump to say no, or somebody in power to say no, or everybody to go against Sessions. We need something. We need change. We need everybody to come at it at once. I know on Normal's site, that's what I'm saying. And on Normal's website, they can give you like the numbers where you can call in and voice your opinion to like the Department of Justice, so on and so forth. But if we all come at it together, we can make change. But I know that if we take the power out of their hands to use cannabis against us in every way, shape, and form, in family court, in criminal court, in everything, that, you know what, that will restore a little bit of my faith in the justice system and the law enforcement. It really will, because now they're going to have to pursue violent criminals, aren't they? We're going to totally remove that from their hands. We're totally going to remove that.
It would remove some of the impetus to spend money on ludicrous investigations that go nowhere and really solve nothing.
Absolutely. So I don't want to say FTP, the acronym for that, just yet. I still believe there are people out there in law enforcement and in our justice system that do have good hearts and that are really human. We're all human, and we're all connected by that same beating heart. But we just have to take away that obligation and that duty that they feel to pursue nonviolent criminals, don't we? And to pursue cannabis.
Correct.
Absolutely. So let's take away that motivation. Let's take away the obligation and duty they feel to their job. Let's take away the financial, the gains that they're receiving. Let's take away all the incentive. Let's just take it away. And let's encourage them to be the brave heroes that they signed up to be, right? I mean, that's a good plan if you ask me. I think that'd be a move forward. I think that would be a hashtag Make America Greater. No harm, no foul. DPA go away, or DEA go away. Drug Policy Alliance is DPA.
Right.
I like DPA. DEA go away. Right. Hashtag no harm, no foul. But absolutely, you know, I think that we still need somebody to protect us. We still need superheroes. You know, it's funny. I saw a meme the other day, and someone was like, you never see someone making a song that says, fuck the fire department. Oops, I said it. But it's like, but it's true.
Right.
And you know what? I love my firefighters. They're like my biggest fans. I love my men in uniform. No, but I really do love our fire departments. Guys, FYI. But no, I love, you know what? I have family that's in law enforcement, and blood's thicker than water. And you know what? Those men they signed up to be brave heroes. I know they did. I know that they did. And I know that they look around and they don't like what they see. And I know that there are others out there. I know that there are officers for change, but they need us to lead the way.
Right.
So.
It's hard for them to do that, though, because of the whole, you know,
right, with
years
how
of
it is
the lies,
now, they
40
can't.
years of thing. You know, they fear for their jobs, they fear for retaliation against their family,
right.
And you know, and this goes across the board, not just officers, doctors,
all
lawyers,
jobs,
I mean, all of them.
Everybody that has a job, whether it's
Look
for
at
the
all
government or for a large corporation,
Look
they're
at all the
afraid.
naturopaths that have died. You know, naturopaths across the country that have been killed, not even in mainstream media. But those are doctors, naturopaths who were offering alternative treatments for cancer, and so many have turned up dead in the last couple of years.
Absolutely.
You know, people,
like 90.
People who are,
like 90-something natural doctors, you know, some of them with suspicious circumstances, some of them not. But that's a lot of, someone needs to do like some statistics on that, because like every week there's like another one or another one, and some of these people were doing some of the work with that GMAF stuff I had mentioned before, and other things too with regard to like cancer, autism, vaccines. They were doing all this stuff for people and really helping them, and then all of a sudden they just show up dead. And there's been other doctors in like Texas, like Dr. Brzezinski, who they came into his office numerous times and tried to shut him down, but he was like helping kids and not hurting them, just helping them. And it's some like rule where the doctor can't break the standard of care. Even if it does help you, they'll still get arrested, in trouble for doing that, which is so ridiculous, because if they don't cut you, poison you, burn you, then they get in trouble.
Well, I'm gonna have my private investigator look into that. Yes, you're the private investigator, Robbie. I'm sorry, on the lighter side. I said I'm going to have my private investigator look into that, and I was looking at Robbie as he's munching on chips as quietly as he can away from the microphone, and he's like, "Are you talking to me?" I said, "Yes, you're my private investigator." No, that is something, though, we need. I'm serious, I joke around, but seriously, I have so thought about that too, and I'm going to have Robbie dive into that and have some answers the next time we go live, which will be on Wednesday. Robbie, that's your deadline, Wednesday.
Well, and something if you want to look into that, what you want to look into is what's called the Cancer Act of 1939. It was actually started in the UK, and it pretty much is a piece of legislation that came under UK government, which seems to be applied in the United States as well, that basically says a doctor can only treat cancer by cutting, burning, or irradiating.
What?
Or poisoning.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's
Cancer Act of
another
1909.
Yeah.
And that is why doctors get punished for not using radiation, chemotherapy, or surgery for cancer patients.
That's really sad.
Isn't it crazy? And they take an oath, to do no harm, right?
But
First, do no harm.
So, do you think they
But,
become desensitized?
That's another one. And
well, there's doctors out here in Washington that have stopped practicing like their daily medicine to go do more natural healing and teach people, just because of that very statement you made.
Yeah.
correct.
Well, there's doctors everywhere that do that, but they face persecution, they face death, they have to live their lives.
losing their license.
Correct.
Listen, when I was
And
on
then
all
Losing their
when I
license,
was on all the
losing their
pharmaceutical
life.
drugs, they told me that I couldn't come off anything because I had a diagnosis to go with every drug. And they can lose their license if they don't prescribe the things that are in
Wendy,
the protocol that they have to follow.
Yeah,
They're not allowed to really practice medicine in many cases.
And then, like, as you know, some of the stuff, like the biggest reason that we had to buy insurance and, buy this insurance in case anything happens. Well, when regular doctors can't help you, you have to go see someone else who's off the grid of insurance, and then you pay out of pocket, which is like my situation. Like all the stuff that I've been getting is like out of pocket, because regular doctors can't or won't seem to do it. And so what I'm finding out here is there's functional medicine and all this really cool medicine, but insurance doesn't cover that at all. So then you're paying $200, $300, $400. It's just a wild goose chase to help yourself when you already buy insurance, but that doesn't help, and you still have to pay for it, or else you get in trouble. And then you get whatever, you have to go see someone else, and that's out of pocket. It's just crazy to find health in this country. Just crazy, and you got to find it in the best way you can. But no one ever talks about health. They just talk about, well, we do, but they don't talk about like how to stay healthy. It's more like when you get into that system, like you're already sick, so they'll tell you, oh, take this pill, do that, and then do this, and then that causes other symptoms and other things, and you're gonna take that pill for the. It's just so crazy. I can't wrap my mind around it. Some days,
from the outside,
it's a sick care system. It's a sick care system. That's the problem. It's not a health care
after
system.
getting away
It's not
from all.
set for keeping people sick.
After getting away from all of the medicines that they wanted me to be on, it's like I can look in kind of from the outside looking in, and I think to myself, gosh, though, once they start you on, especially even one thing, it your thoughts are so much more disorganized. So it's like you want to trust them and you want to, but it's like you can't even. I mean, it took me so long to even get the paperwork together that I needed. You know what I mean? And they're just sending you from one doctor to the next doctor to the next doctor, and they keep your schedule so busy, and you're already sick. It's just like this cycle, and it's so sad. And Wendy, I know you recently talked about on one of your Facebook Lives that they had cut you off from your disability, or because what? Tell me about that.
Yeah, I became sick in 2011, disabled in 2012, and have been on SSDI, and also I had a private long-term disability insurance at the time I became sick, so I was fortunate to have both. But they decided to review me for SSDI, and they kept me on because of the ailments that I have. But then the other one sent me a letter saying they did a review and I'm not taking enough pharmaceutical drugs or seeing enough doctors. And also some of the activism work I do, they think that means that I could be at a job every day at the same time and work, like there's no way that I could do what they're asking me to do. And I don't have any recourse because they also said I refused treatments, which is true. I refused all the drugs. So suddenly my income was cut in half.
Take our poison or we're going to not help you at all.
Like, yeah, if you don't drink the Kool-Aid, you're that's it,
It's just so sad. It's just so sad.
Yeah, so I mean, so it forces people, there's no medical freedom in this country. It forces people to follow a certain track, and if you're not willing to follow that, then you have to face the consequences that we do not have medical freedom.
So
from cannabis to natural treatments, to even giving yourself the time to change your lifestyle positively with food and exercise. Those things take time to take hold for change, and people aren't given that space to do that either. Absolutely. Or even the ability to afford those things also, So it's a multi-level problem for sure.
They're getting them in this cycle of pharmaceuticals, dependent on pharmaceuticals, whether it's opiates, benzos, or a combination of multiple things. They're dependent on them. What does this cause? This fuels the fire for addiction. Now we're shutting down all the mental health addiction. Is it a mental health issue? Or is it a problem that we need to incarcerate masses by? I feel like they're just taking all the sick people, they're setting them up for failure, and then they're incarcerating them by the masses, feeding them more poison, and then everyone's dying. This is like so sad. We've taken away our mental health care system. We've taken away our regular health care system, but it's so limited. We're just, like you said, drinking the Kool-Aid. We're all drinking the Kool-Aid, and you only don't drink the Kool-Aid if you can afford not to drink the Kool-Aid. But if you start drinking the Kool-Aid, then you can't afford ever to drink the Kool-Aid. So it's just, it's so messed up.
It's a vicious cycle.
It's so messed up. I'm glad you guys understand my nonsense right now.
Poison all the women.
As I said a little bit ago, this issue is systemic.
Yeah. That's really how it is.
Just the doctors. It's the way the doctors are trained. It's not just the schools. It's the way the schools are set up. It's not just the funding. It's who's doing the funding.
Yeah.
Every step you go, it gets deeper and more perverted.
Yeah.
But in this whole simple concept of medical stuff, the doctors take the Hippocratic Oath, I'll administer no poison to do no harm. And that's a great thing, but why don't they use the other quote from Hippocrates? Let our medicine be our food, and let our food be our medicine.
Yes, amen.
Make
America greater.
When you realize that doctors only get about 3 to 7 hours of nutritional studies out of a 4-year course, something's wrong with the system.
Something's very, very wrong. You guys.
Yeah, that's like even I would ask my doctors, is there anything I should take to like help this, or should I take like vitamins? Oh no, you don't need to. And it's just weird, like hearing that, and then
you don't need to.
Like, holy. Because they say you just pee them out anyways, and this and that, but your body actually need support. Like, we don't get all the nutrients that we're actually supposed to get because our world has been corrupted by, like, various reasons we just mentioned. So we don't, like, what is the human supposed to take in every day? We're supposed to take in a lot of, different nutrients, vitamins, minerals, water, you name it.
Well, just,
and people don't do that. So,
right.
It's just like all our stuff is like GMO or whatever, which some of them, yes, are safe, but a lot of them we don't know yet because there's never really been studies on all that stuff. And
they can't even test.
In 50 years.
The Environmental Protection Agency doesn't even know what to test our soil and water for. When there was that big, the second largest inland oil spill in U.S. history, that Chris Wamhoff was affected by, along with over 300 other thousand people that were directly affected and now have a flesh-eating disease that they don't even want to do studies on. The laws protect the big oil company from even releasing the toxins that these people were exposed for. And quite frankly, the EPA has stated they don't even know what to test for because they don't know what we were exposed to. The governor just uncovered over 200 leaks near the Mackinac. They are poisoning the water supply of 40 million people. Michigan holds 20% of the world's fresh water. I mean, they're poisoning our water, our air. I live one zip code away from the largest tar sand refinery in the world, the dirtiest air. The kidney failure is astronomical. They're poisoning our air. They're poisoning our water. Monsanto's poisoned us with the weed killer. And let's not forget that our soil is depleted of magnesium, a vital mineral that we need, our body needs to function and survive. Without magnesium, you cannot live. And the way of the average American diet, we can't even absorb it. Causes all these side effects.
Correct.
We get put on these medications. It's a cycle. It's a cycle called population control, really, UN.
Yeah, really.
And I'm really hoping that the uranium can cure the problem and give us some safe nuclear energy, and we can get rid of all this nuclear war shit. But it really needs to happen. We need to wake up. We all need to come together. Cannabis prohibition trickles down to everything from the pharmaceutical and oil companies. Being in Kalamazoo, those two people, one of them has more money than Oprah in a tax-free city running the largest animal genetics testing facility. That's big pharma. You know what? When you get that roadside drug testing now in Michigan, you know where those tests go back to? They go back to Kalamazoo. They go back to big pharma, baby. $150,000. Your soul was sold to the devil. Big pharma that got you on the pills will take you down. Say no to roadside drug testing. It's just a civil infraction, people. But you know what? I'm sorry I get a little heated, but it's like I see what's going on, and I'm so done with it. I'm so done with it.
I've had enough, and I'm not going to take it anymore.
I've had enough. So,
everybody remembers Network in 1975 or so.
What was that? Well, listen, I think that might even be a good note to end on, you guys. We've been talking for a little over an hour. I just wanted to get in today. It was a free podcast day. We had lots of new shows in the building, lots of new people that gave podcasting a try. I hope you liked it. I hope you're going to join the Podcast Detroit Network. It is like the best podcast studios ever. So definitely make sure if you're listening, go to PodcastDetroit.com, get the app so that you guys can always tune in live to the Podcast of Detroit. You can find me on SoundCloud. You can go to the website, peaceoverprofit.com, and there's links to everything. Also, Beautiful But Deadly, let me mention that before I get off the phone. I thought Tiffany was going to call in today. Let me share a little bit about Tiffany really quick. Tomorrow is our first Beautiful But Deadly seminar, and it's an all-women seminar where we teach self-defense. Jiu-jitsu has saved my life more than once, and I'll be talking about my personal story soon, but my girlfriend Tiffany was recently attacked by her boyfriend, and she was almost killed. The police in Wyandotte, Michigan had to tase him several times to get him to stop. the boy that was there during the attack that was a friend of Will's cousin actually got so scared he started having a seizure. And they had to use excess force to stop him from killing her. But she is never going to be in that situation again. She's standing up for herself. We all know with domestic violence, the first time is never the last time. Tiffany's brave. She's a strong woman. She survived. She's going to be at my self-defense seminar. So anybody who's listening, come meet Tiffany. She's a secret superhero. And come join the Women's Self-Defense Seminar. It's going to be awesome. Let me share with you my story about how jiu-jitsu saved my life. And I hope I can inspire you and teach you some skills and help teach you some skills that might just save your life one day. You never know. The decision is yours, guys. Live or die. And everybody, thanks for calling in. I appreciate you. I'll touch base with all of you soon. I'm going to roll out. This was Stirring the Pot. Listen live Wednesday. It's my last show, everybody. Wednesday, listen live.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Love you, Katie.
I
Thank
love
you, everyone.
you.
Bye, Heather. Bye, Tim.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
You guys are listening to
Have a good
Stirring
one.
the Pot.
Cannabis saves lives.
That's right. Take back your health,
Free cannabis.
America. Go ahead.
Thanks, Earl.
Thanks. Thank you so much. You rock.
Sorry about the civic issues.
Oh, no. It's okay.
Most shows have like one caller. and-
Yeah, no, when you get multiple people calling in, it gets crazy. So crazy. All right. I'm going to run to the bathroom.